Today, we're going to explore the top 4 most valuable Buffalo nickel, 5-cent coins from the United States of America. These coins are highly prized in the collecting world for their rare mint errors, unusual silver-like tones, and unique color shades that set them apart. Buffalo nickels are not just small change. They are historic treasures that tell the story of America's past, and have become some of the most valuable coins collectors and investors are hunting for today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is made for you. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get started with our first coin. The 1936 D Buffalo nickel is one of those coins that carries both the raw power of history and the shimmering mystery of unimaginable fortune. Struck at the Denver Mint during the twilight years of the Buffalo nickel series, this coin is a window into America's past, a time of grit, resilience, and national identity carved into metal. Yet among the ordinary copper-nickel strikes, stories circulate of a small number of rare silver-struck pieces, accidents or experiments that should never have happened. If one of those pieces were to emerge in today's market, its value would not simply be measured in dollars, but in the ability to transform its owner's life forever. What makes this coin so enchanting is not only its age, but its artistry. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo nickel features a proud Native American profile on the obverse and a majestic American bison on the reverse. Each line of the engraving captures a raw and enduring strength, reminding us of the nation's untamed frontiers. Now imagine this classic design shimmering in silver rather than copper-nickel, radiating with a brilliance that sets it apart from every ordinary coin. Such a piece becomes more than money. It becomes a work of art that could rewrite destiny. The Denver Mint in 1936 was a bustling hub of activity, producing millions of coins for circulation. But with high volumes always comes the possibility of anomalies, wrong planchets fed into presses, experimental strikings, or mint errors that slipped past inspectors. If even one Buffalo nickel was struck in silver that year and survived, it would instantly rise to the pantheon of the most valuable coins ever known. The combination of its historic design, mint mark, and improbable composition would make it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Collectors know that rarity drives value, but rarity with mystery creates legends. A 1936 D silver Buffalo nickel would embody exactly that kind of legend. Few would believe it exists until it is held in hand. Its weight slightly different, its sound unmistakably pure, its shine a giveaway of silver's distinct glow. The mere whisper of such a coin's discovery would send shockwaves through the numismatic world, igniting bidding wars and headlines across the globe. Imagine the scene. A coin that entered circulation unnoticed in the 1930s, perhaps tucked away in a box for decades, suddenly resurfaces today. The lucky discoverer, who may have thought it just another old nickel, realizes they hold a fortune unlike anything they dreamed possible. Auction houses would scramble to secure the sale, and collectors would open their vaults to fight for possession. The hammer price would not be thousands, nor tens of thousands, but millions. The condition of such a coin only amplifies its magic. If the silver Buffalo nickel exists in mint state, sharp details in the bison's fur, the Native American's braids still crisp, the fields gleaming like untouched mirrors, it would become the crown jewel of American numismatics. Even a lightly circulated example would still command a staggering price, but an uncirculated gem would elevate the coin into the realm of legend, the kind of treasure passed from museum to private vault and back again. But beyond value, there is symbolism. The Buffalo nickel is already one of the most beloved designs in U.S. coinage, representing heritage, strength, and endurance. To find one in silver would be like discovering a parallel version of history, a glimpse into what could have been. It transforms a coin from a mere artifact into a story of mistakes, accidents, or perhaps deliberate trials at the mint that left behind an unimaginable treasure for the future to uncover. For ordinary people, this story adds an irresistible thrill. It means that anyone could have this fortune without knowing it. That jar of coins in your attic, the nickel handed back and changed decades ago, or the heirloom passed from a grandparent might contain more than sentiment. It might contain life-changing wealth. This possibility turns every collector, and even every casual coin handler, into a treasure hunter. The energy around a coin like the 1936 D silver Buffalo nickel is electric. because it touches something deep in the human spirit. It is the idea that destiny can hide in plain sight, that unimaginable fortune might be resting unnoticed in your possession. People dream of riches through business, luck, or invention. But here, fortune may lie in a 5-cent coin that history accidentally made extraordinary. If this coin were to surface, it would not only bring wealth to its finder, but immortality in the world of coin collecting. Their name would be forever linked with the discovery of one of the greatest numismatic treasures in American history. And that immortality, in a way, is priceless. It makes the finder part of the story that will be told as long as coins are collected. Every time you look at a buffalo nickel, especially one bearing the 1936 D mint mark, you should feel the thrill of possibility. Its rugged design already makes it special. But what if yours is one of the unimaginable silver strikes? What if destiny chose you to hold history in your hand, a coin worth not cents, not dollars, but millions? That thought is enough to make hearts race and imagination soar. So never overlook a buffalo nickel. Handle each one with care, for within its metal might lie the power to change your fortune overnight. The 1936 D silver-struck buffalo nickel is more than a coin. It is a dream of discovery, the spark of mystery, and the promise that even the smallest piece of history can hold the greatest of treasures. Next up, the buffalo nickel, struck in 1923 at the Philadelphia Mint, already holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Its rugged beauty and powerful symbolism remind us of an America still defining its identity, a nation that wanted its coinage to represent strength and heritage. But within the ordinary copper-nickel issues of that year, whispers of unimaginable fortune surround the idea of a silver-struck 1923 buffalo nickel. If such a piece exists, it would instantly rank among the most valuable coins in history, capable of transforming a simple pocket find into a life-changing discovery worth millions. When James Earl Fraser designed the buffalo nickel in 1913, he sought to capture the soul of the American frontier. On one side, the proud profile of a Native American chief reflects dignity and heritage. On the other, a mighty American bison embodies resilience and strength. For collectors, this design alone makes the coin one of the most beloved in U.S. history. But now imagine this familiar design gleaming in silver rather than copper-nickel. It would look like a vision from another world, a coin that feels at once familiar and yet utterly unique. The Philadelphia Mint, where the 1923 buffalo nickel was struck, was producing millions of coins that year. With such enormous production numbers, mistakes were inevitable, planchets sometimes mismatched, experimental strikings occasionally conducted. If even a handful of 1923 nickels were struck on silver blanks, either by accident or as a hidden test, the result would be a treasure of unparalleled rarity. The difference in weight, shine, and tone would set apart immediately from the ordinary strikes, and collectors would stop at nothing to secure it. Rarity is the lifeblood of numismatics, and the rarer the coin, the higher its value soars. But when rarity is paired with mystery, like a silver buffalo nickel from 1923, the coin moves beyond value into legend. Such a piece would be talked about not only among collectors but across the wider world, making headlines, attracting documentaries, and inspiring treasure hunts. The mere rumor of its existence is enough to ignite excitement, but the confirmed discovery of one would send shock waves through history. Imagine a coin like this appearing in a small-town estate sale, hidden away for decades by a family that had no idea of its worth. At first glance, it might look like any other nickel, but under closer inspection, its silver glow would give away its secret. News would travel fast. Auction houses would rush to secure it. Collectors would prepare their vaults, and bidding wars would reach unimaginable levels. The final hammer price could easily run into the millions, turning its finder into a billionaire overnight if multiple pieces emerged. Condition only heightens this excitement. A circulated silver 1923 buffalo nickel would already be worth a fortune, but an uncirculated example, sharp in detail and glowing with brilliance, would become one of the most desirable coins in all of numismatics. Every detail, from the feathers in the Native American's hair to fur on the bison, would shine in silver's reflective surface. Collectors know that such perfection is priceless, and they would pay almost any amount to possess it. The symbolism of such a coin cannot be ignored. The buffalo nickel is already a timeless emblem of America's strength and heritage. A silver-struck version takes that symbolism further, transforming it into a bridge between the ordinary and the extraordinary. It reminds us that even the smallest, most common items can hide secrets capable of changing destiny. It is more than metal. It is magic sealed within history. For everyday people, this legend brings with it a thrilling possibility. The fortune may already be in your possession. That jar of old nickels in the attic, that roll of coins passed down from grandparents, or that single coin in a dusty drawer might be far more than it seems. Each 1923 nickel you hold could be the one, a treasure capable of rewriting your financial future overnight. This possibility fuels the imagination of collectors and dreamers alike. It is not just about money, but about the adventure of discovery. Finding such a coin is like uncovering buried treasure, a reward not only of wealth but of immortality in history. Whoever brings a silver 1923 Buffalo nickel to light will have their name etched forever into the story of American coinage. The impact of such a discovery would go beyond the individual. It would energize the entire field of numismatics, drawing new collectors, inspiring young hobbyists, and reminding the world that coins are more than currency. They are artifacts of human history. And when a coin crosses into the realm of mystery and legend, it becomes a cultural icon as much as a collectible. Every time you hold a Buffalo nickel, especially one from 1923, you should feel the spark of possibility. It might look like any other, but under its surface may lie silver brilliance, a fortune waiting to be revealed. That is the magic of coin collecting. The knowledge that treasures of unimaginable worth can hide in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to see them. So never underestimate the humble nickel, especially the Buffalo from 1923, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. For hidden within its history is a chance of destiny, a coin that could turn an ordinary person into a legend and a pocket change find into a multi-million-dollar miracle. The 1923 silver Buffalo nickel is more than a dream. It is a kind of legend that makes collectors' hearts race and imagination soar. Next up, the Buffalo nickel of 1924 with the Denver D mint mark carries an aura of legend, and when spoken of in whispers as a possible silver strike, it transcends into the realm of myth. Minted at a time when America was roaring with the energy of the 1920s, this coin already embodies history's strength and artistry, but in its rarest form. If struck in silver instead of the usual copper-nickel alloy, it is said to be worth not just thousands, not just millions, but a life-altering fortune. It is a coin that collectors dream about, a coin that can make an ordinary person a billionaire overnight. The design itself is unforgettable. James Earl Fraser, the sculptor behind the Buffalo nickel, wanted to capture the raw spirit of America. On one side, the noble profile of a Native American leader stares into the future with pride and dignity. On the other, a massive American bison, strong and enduring, symbolizes the untamed frontier. Now imagine this masterpiece gleaming in silver, reflecting light with intensity no ordinary nickel could ever achieve. It would not just be a coin, it would be a national treasure in miniature. The Denver Mint, where this piece was struck, was a bustling center of coin production. Millions of ordinary 1924 D Buffalo nickels were pressed into circulation, destined for pockets, tills, and purses across the country. But in the chaos of minting, mistakes or experiments sometimes happened. What if, in that roaring factory, a silver blank slipped under the press and received the Buffalo nickel design? That single event could have created one of the most valuable coins in existence, hiding in plain sight for decades. Collectors know that rarity creates demand, but mystery multiplies it beyond imagination. A silver 1924 D Buffalo nickel would not just be rare, it would be one of a kind. It would be the coin that numismatists talk about at conventions, that collectors dream of while scanning through pocket change, and that investors would chase with bottomless wallets. To own it would be to hold history, beauty, and fortune in one palm-sized piece of silver. Imagine the shock of discovery. Perhaps an old jar of coins from a grandparent's attic, or a handful of nickels purchased at a flea market, contains this gleaming anomaly. At first, it might go unnoticed, but under the right light, its silver brilliance would reveal itself. The weight would feel slightly different, the shine unmistakable. And suddenly, you would realize you were holding not just a coin, but a miracle of numismatic history worth millions. If such a coin came to auction, the world would take notice. Headlines would shout of its discovery, auction houses would battle for the right to sell it, and collectors would bid fiercely for the chance to own it. The price would climb higher and higher, surpassing records, until it reached sums most people only dream of. The lucky finder would not only become wealthy beyond imagination, but immortalized in coin-collecting history. Condition plays a critical role in its value. Even if circulated, a silver 1924 D Buffalo nickel would be worth millions simply because of its rarity. But imagine one in mint condition. Sharp details in Native American's face, every strand of hair visible, every muscle of the bison finely etched. The luster of silver would make these details pop with breathtaking clarity. Such a coin would be priceless, a treasure beyond measure. But beyond money, the symbolism is profound. The Buffalo nickel represents the strength and resilience of America during a time of growth and change. A silver version would symbolize something more. It would be a hidden gem, proof that destiny can take even the most ordinary object and elevate it into something extraordinary. This coin will remind us that fortune often lies in unexpected places. For everyday people, this possibility adds a sense of magic to collecting. It means that fortune could be hiding in a dusty drawer, in a forgotten piggy bank, or in the loose change of daily life. Every 1924, the Buffalo nickel you encounter carries with the spark of possibility. Could this be the one? Could this be the silver treasure that changes everything? That sense of wonder keeps collectors searching. The discovery of such a coin would not just enrich one person, but ignite the imagination of millions. It would inspire new collectors to start their journeys, energize seasoned numismatists, and remind the world that history's greatest treasures are sometimes small enough to fit in your pocket. It would turn the humble Buffalo nickel into a global icon, proof that even the smallest piece of metal can carry immense power. And for the finder, the story would never end. They would forever be remembered as the one who uncovered a legend, the person whose curiosity or luck unearthed a coin capable of rewriting destiny. Museums might clamor to display it. Private collectors might bid outrageous sums, but its true value would always be greater than money. It would be the story, the discovery, the once-in-a-lifetime miracle. So the next time you see a Buffalo nickel, especially one from 1924 with a D mint mark, look closer. Hold it to the light. Feel its weight, because hidden among the ordinary could be the extraordinary. Hidden in your hand could be the power to change your fortune overnight. The silver 1924 D Buffalo nickel is not just a coin. It is a legend, a dream, and perhaps one day, a reality waiting for its discoverer.